All right.
Well, we do have in game number 1, in the north of the map in the color blue is Optimus Prime playing France, and similarly playing France is Kaister. In the color green in the south of the map, the coin start was wood. It was wood. Figured it out eventually.
Okay, nice. I'm just checking the hunts really quick. It looks like they're about even. Mine placement also looks pretty good, I think. So,
pretty even map. Kaiser's going to be the first one to lay down his trading post because Optimus Prime was getting 40 XP and also 40 food in his own base, so going to be a little late, and it looks like he's going to that middle trading post, which is nice. He's going to get the XP pass a little bit later than Kaister is, but still pretty good placement.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he makes this first pass. I think that he will. So maybe that wasn't too bad to be just going for the stretchers in base really quickly. Looks like I think both players are going to get the same pass. Of course, Opti is going to get his pass a little bit later just by virtue of where he placed his trading post.
Yeah.
But still pretty effective.
I wonder if you can place it here right away and still get the first pass. I'm not sure. Probably not. But
yeah, it's hard to say. I think maybe. I mean, definitely not when you're taking all these treasures on your base. But maybe if you just make a beeline towards it, it's hard to say.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so Optimus Prime picking up 75 food, gonna help him age nicely. Both players doing the same thing, just building a house after their trading post, chopping the wood, and there's gonna be a treasure
Actually,
contention.
Keister's going to be finding this treasure and going to be picking it up. So very nice walk in just for the snipe. He is going to take a bit of damage from the Navajo scout because his scout is further away, actually over in Opti's base doing the scouting, but Opti isn't going to go for it. So very nice steal. Just kind of waltzed in and grabbed it while Opti wasn't prepared.
Yeah, nice little pickup for SKG, to be sure. Do I have, let me see here, do I have the team logos on my Discord? No. Okay. Or on my ops. Alright, sorry, I was just kind of talking to myself, but Keister's also going to pick up the stray dog in need of rescue, so it's going to help him, I don't know, maybe deny any potential forward base or try to secure this last trading post or something like that.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Some really aggressive dog play can do wonders for you, especially in the transition, or just for taking treasures. It looks like he is hanging out by the trading post now, but neither player is gathering for it. Actually, let's see. We see Opti. He's starting to chop some wood. We'll see what he does with that. I'd guess just to market or something like that. But otherwise, actually, Keister might be going for this trading post.
Yeah,
he's hanging around that.
Yeah, he was there, and now he's kind of tasking over to this treasure that I think he saw in the Fog of War that Optimus Prime just picked up. So maybe he wants to... You know, I don't know what's going through the players' heads right now, but I think that a second trading post is probably unlikely in transition. I think you should kind of wait until 700 wood or something. Oh, but as I say that, he actually lays down the foundation, so slight discrepancy in the build so far.
Yeah, Opti actually doing what I would describe as a very interesting choice, where if you look at the shipments that he sent, he actually just sent economic theory. Not something that I would normally expect players to go for. And he's laying down a native trading post. He's going for, looks like the Inca, which also I think a little bit less common than the Lakota. So we'll see if he's planning to do anything with this Inca trading post, or if it's just going for the XP. But regardless, I think shipping economic theory as your second card is an unusual choice, and we'll see how it has to go for him.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, but he is going to have a shipment ready when he pops up into the second age, so it's not going to hurt his build too much. And I do kind of like this Inca trading post. I mean, I don't know if it's great, but Inca warriors are only 100 food and 20 wood for what's really a very fast and very high siege damage unit. And so because Keister has taken 2 trading posts in transition, I think Optimus Prime is poised to actually train a few of these bad boys and kind of show Kaister that he maybe wasted 200 or 400 wood.
Yeah. Really quickly, it looks like Indiabot is saying you're a bit low on the sound, so if you could just turn yourself up. Just turn yourself up, not me.
Sure.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, we do see the Hueminka in queue for Optimus Prime. He got one out. So that was I'm not sure what he's planning. Maybe just making one just to start putting pressure on the trading post, but not committing too much towards it. Actually, the Native Treaters card coming out too. So we've got a bunch of Hueminkas, Bolus Warriors, and the Axe Riders.
Yeah, this is interesting. He got the Lakota Native Trading Post up in time, so this is going to be kind of an old-fashioned Native Rush, but a little atypical because he hasn't sent 700 wood and he's got Eco Theory behind this, so interesting to say the least. And he's got his 2 Native Scouts here. I don't know, I feel like those would be better positioned stealth around Kaister's base, but this pressure is making Kaister, force him to drop 2 barracks in base.
Yeah, we do see pikemen coming up from Kaister. He's put up 2 barracks now, 5 pikes. I think his original plan with them was just to go siege some of these trading posts down, but he's going to start needing them probably to defend against everything that Optimus is making right now. I do agree that I think the Native Scouts would probably be better served actually just near Kaister's base, seeing what's going on. They don't really provide that much siege relative to everything else. But he will be taking this trading post down and picking up another treasure, getting another native, in fact, with the Iroquois Tomahawk.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to amass as large of an early native army as possible, even if that includes 2 scouts. The problem for Optimus Prime, though, is that these units are actually all pretty trash. Well, I mean, I guess the Axe Riders are okay, but just double racks muskets should clean most of this up because the Incan Bolas warriors are just like not a very effective ranged infantry unit. However, the more stuff principle could come into play here. We'll see who wins this fight.
Yeah, 10 muskets in for Kaister. His pikemen were in a good position on the Axe Riders, and he got a couple of them, but there was a lot of blue units there. I agree. The Bolas Warriors, they're an interesting thing because they're a ranged infantry unit that has they've got not so great stats, but they do have area of effect damage at range, which is not many things do outside of cannons. So there was something there, but neither player really taking too much damage in that fight. Kaister got some damage done on the units, but ultimately retreated. He probably is going to come back and try to go for this trading post, whereas Optimus Prime is moving on to the other trading post that Kaister had control over.
Yeah, that's a smart move, and I think after all the dust is settled, both players will be without a single regular trading post, but Opti will still have the 2 native ones, giving him approximately, I think, a 1.4 experience per second trickle buff. So both players are also clicking up to the 3rd age now. So besides the economic theory and native treaties cards, both players' builds are roughly the same. However, Optimus is not with he's without 700 wood, so he's going to find it a little bit harder to get infrastructure up in the 3rd age.
Yeah, Optimus's card order has been pretty interesting to say the least. You don't often see 3 couriers into economic theory into native treaties as the first 3 cards that you send. I'm liking Kaister's more standard, just sending all the normal good French cards because it is going to give him with another shipment in early fortress, which he's sending right now, and he's not really far behind in getting his next shipment as well. Opti, meanwhile, I think he'll just barely have a shipment ready once he hits Fortress, but Kaister's going to be able to send his 2nd Fortress card a lot earlier than Opti will.
Yeah, and I want to point this out. So Optimus is actually researching Incan metalworking at the moment, which for 175 food and 175 coin boosts his villagers' gather rate on mines by 20%. So it's actually like a much cheaper version of amalgamation from the market. And because he already has this native trading post, I think it's paying off. These are going to be some...
Sorry, people are saying you're still just a bit low, so I guess turn yourself up a little bit. I heard some of the weed whacking in the background, but I think that's appropriate for an Opti game. As you say, the The economy for Optimus is actually looking pretty good right now. In terms of pure villager count, it's roughly even. Kaister's just one ahead. But economic theory does add several villagers to that. His carriers do have. I mean, the ink metalworking is coming in just now. He's got steel traps as well and placer mines. Meanwhile, if we go over to Kaister's base, he has. I mean, he's got steel traps and placer mines as well, but he doesn't have that ink and metalworking, which does mean that, and he doesn't have economic theory, of course, which does mean that Opti is taking a substantial, not massive, but substantial economic lead right now.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything you said because I'm trying to fix some audio issues on my end, so that's a bit my fault.
No
but
problem.
Yeah, definitely Kaister has a military advantage right now. Optimus is trying to go for a raid here in the west of the map. Oh, and he's even getting the bison from the Lakota. I really like that on this map because the bison spawn weird and
Wait, the Falconettes?
No! Just spawning on completely the wrong side of the trading post. At least one is going to be picked up, and then it looks like the goons are going to try to pick off the second. And this is a huge change. This is game winning right here for Kaister, I think.
Yeah, so there were a lot of things going on there. Not only did the Falconettes spawn in kind of odd places, but they spawned that way because the Bison already interrupted their pathing and made them just spawn in like two opposite sides of the town center. And Kaister was maybe a little slow to react, but he was able to pick up one of the Falconettes just by shooting it down. Almost got it off in a single volley, and then picked off the other with his dragoons. So yeah, military advantage goes decisively over to Kaister right now. But yeah, as you say, meanwhile, there's raid, a pretty substantial one, actually.
I mean, I think Kaister's is kind of tunnel vision because of the fight right now, because he just had 5 Dragoons walk completely past us. And if we look at units lost, that is 9 Corps de Bois down, 4 Kaister. So that's a pretty big raid. And, you know, with economic theory behind this and ink and metalworking, I mean, Optimus's economy is just so much better, and I think that he should be able to stabilize. And as long as he sends normal unit shipments and makes normal units, I would have to say he's in the lead right now.
There is a 7 villager deficit for Optimus over Kaister, or that is to say, Kaister is down 7 villagers, and as you mentioned, yeah, the metalworking, the economic theory, there's a pretty big gap right now. And even though Kaister got a really good trade earlier on, he didn't necessarily push it and try to kill Optimus, which he probably couldn't. And as a result, yeah, the economic or the military units do go in favor of Kaister right now, but he doesn't really have a great opportunity to push in too far into the base. It's still Skirmgoon. There's not a lot of siege. There's still a lot of hunts in base for Optimus right now because he's had those 12 bison. If you were to send maybe Falconettes, or I see right now he's adding Cuirassier, he might be able to do a little bit more damage. But right now, Optimus is feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. And, kudos to him because this was certainly an atypical start to the game, but he's really making it work out well for himself. And I think that it just does really well on this Iowa map because we also have to remember that from this Lakota shipment, at any point in time, Optimus can research Lakota dog soldiers. So for 500 wood and 500 coin, I believe, he can amass a pretty large amount of some very, very formidable Lancer-type cavalry units. And I think that becomes kind of viable after 14 minutes, so we'll see if that's ever on his cards or not.
Bit of a small raid going down for Kaister right now. He picked off a couple of carriers that were pretty far out, actually, on a pretty distant line. But carrier is also very tanky. Don't take a lot of damage from ranged attacks, so I think only maybe 1 or 2 going down. And it looks like Optimus does have the skirm advantage right now, so Kaister's going to have to be pulling back. 4 Cuirassier coming out for him, but with the amount of goons, it may not be enough right now still.
Yeah, I agree. Optimus Prime would have to forget about his goons completely and just leave them behind, kind of like he's doing now, and we'll be surprised by this. But okay, here they come catching up, and without cavalry combat on these cuirassiers, I don't see them being very effective. Because Kaister really needs to take some sort of miracle engagement or get some sort of miracle raid in order to get back into the game. But sometimes, cuirassiers are the unit to get it done. So he's just at 3 now. I think that this is going to be go time once it does catch up with the rest of his army, and we'll have to see how the engagement will go.
Speaking of Miracle Raids, there are a lot of couriers that are undefended on that right side of the map on the mine.
Nice.
Kaister knows that he pushed off the mine on the left, and so if he's thinking about it carefully, he may be able to guess that that he has to be gathering gold somewhere, and that it's probably on this right side of the map, and that could be an opportunity for a very strong raid. At the moment, though, looks like he's staying back. He's trying to go for this big core switch. There's another 5 coming in that makes, I think, 12. And the goon count has increased a little bit for Optimus, but this could be a very good engagement for Kaister.
Yeah, a cuirassier being picked up, or sorry, a Cour de Bois being picked up, but here comes the slamming in of the cuirassiers. The skirmishers are lagging behind a bit. But yeah, I mean, the goon count is just so high right now. I think that this is going to be GG within the next couple of minutes here.
Here's the engagement. I think the Bison are actually providing a lot of cover for the skirmishers. For SEA can't really come in, and the goon count for Optimus has gotten pretty scary. I think not a lot of these cores are going to be connecting, and even when they do, they're connecting into the goons. Yeah, I think Optimus is just going to be able to win this fight pretty handily, and Kaister will call it from there.
Yeah, that was as good of a fight as Optimus could take, and I don't even know if a single cuirassier managed to swing a blow on the skirmishers, and that's GG. Yep.
Kaister calls it. Goes 1-0 to Optimus, and gotta say, if you're Optimus right now, you kind of secured CMC's playoff spot, so you gotta be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, pretty exciting moment for him.
I'm not sure if he even was aware that he needed to go 10-0 or win one game here to secure the playoff spot, but he did. That does mean that it will be CMC versus Mandarin Duck Squad in the playoffs.
All right, now MDS can start preparing since they know their true opponent.
Yeah, I was actually telling everybody, I expect Jack Gaming to probably take 5 of them, maybe 4-1 if he gets unlucky. And, Kaister's probably going to win all of his games too, so just prepare for NWC. But now I have to completely tell them something different. I have to say, sorry, guys, actually CMC is our real opponent.
Okay. Now it's up to me to figure out why the heck the volume issues are happening. So I'm going to do a quick little sound check. Can you say for me a quick sentence?
Yeah. We can't hear game sound either, so just increase your PC sound, I guess. That's what Kaiser is saying.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I did see that, and I made some small adjustments throughout the thing.
Win one game here to secure the playoff spot, but he did.
Okay, it's up to me to figure out why the heck user have. So I'm sound check.
Yeah, I can turn myself down, and then everybody else can just turn the volume up.
Yeah, that could work, but it sounds fine on my end. So, like when I just do a local recording via OBS, it's spitting out all of the OBS audios to me, and it sounds fine. But let me do some stuffs again. Or yeah, maybe try turning yourself down a bit on your end. I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, I'll decrease my gain. Hopefully I'm going down right now, lowering myself. Do I sound quieter?
You do sound quieter, yes.
Very good.
All right, let's try this again. So my name's TJ Too Strong. DJs are too strong. And go ahead.
My name is Duck. And I'm very pleased right now. Although I'd be more pleased if Kaister won that game, not gonna lie.
All right.
I'm a little bit of a fan.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted that SKG to know to happen. But wrong.
Not because I don't like CMC. Obviously, Duck Squad loves CMC, but if there were it would be a very perfect ending to the regular season. I think if SKG just took the 10-0 out of nowhere and removed one team for playoffs, I think it would have just made my day. But regardless, CMC, definitely a team that deserves a playoff spot. They've been playing well pretty much the entire time. Outside of, I think, a first week loss to New World Challengers, they've won every week so far. Outside of that one, of course. And so definitely a team that deserves their spot in the playoffs.
Definitely impressive. And, I was actually looking through the standings today and wondering why they got such a slow start week 1, but I think just that's how the cards fell on the table, and it's just kind of an unlucky week for them and a nice week for the bigs because they've been showing up pretty hard ever since. And, of course, everybody knows that Kaiser's been, I don't want to say carrying the team, but he's certainly not hurting them at all. So having his presence is pretty huge, and he's a scary opponent. But there are 5 people playing each week for each team, so one person can't do everything.
Yeah, Kaiser's sitting at the best win rate in the league right now at 23 wins and 2 losses. Even if you discount the last Samurai games, that's still, quick math, 18 wins, 2 losses, which is a more quick math 90% win rate. That, I think after that, the second best player is Perez at 73. So a pretty big gap, even between first and second. Kaiser's been doing extraordinarily well for CMC this league.
It's kind of crazy, to be honest.
Looks like Kaister canceled his game and logged off. The Optimus is now hosting. We will see if he was reading for sound bug. I'm very pleased right now.
Too strong. Jays are too strong. And go ahead.
There he is, and my name is just waiting for him to join the game. I guess we should just briefly go over the remaining maps. I'll pull those up right now.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
And still waiting for the players to get in their lobby so we can join it. So yeah, after Iowa, which was the first map, the second map is Fraser River, followed by Dhaka, Kamchatka Summer, and then Manchuria, with CMC locking in the upcoming map.
All right, interesting maps coming ahead. Let's see, Kaister still not online.
He logged on and then logged off, and maybe they're getting full to join issues. That could be.
Could be.
Because I saw Optimus Prime has also canceled his game.
Maybe we'll have to perform a high APM ESOC IP check just to make sure. No, I'm kidding. I'm looking forward to the series after this. Riot Coke versus Jack Gaming.
That one is I have to agree. I'm really looking forward to that one. I think that we're going to see some really high level play, some really engaging builds. It's going to be one to watch. So make sure you stick around after this stream because I think that one's going to be going on right after the Kaister versus Optimus games.
Yeah, it's going to be the very last match of the regular season EPL. And Jack Gaming, I think, is considered slightly, the underdog in that matchup. But I have it on good authority that he's been practicing with some SKG affiliates. And we all know that Riot Coke is a pretty trash player. So I think it could be a close one. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'd say, to roughly estimate Riot Coke's skill, it's somewhere between total garbage and pretty bad. Somewhere between those two levels. This is his words, not mine. I'm not making fun of him. Okay, he actually, he believes this. And then Jack Gaming, a little bit of the underdog again, but he's been practicing a lot. I think he's been getting good. He's been learning some really secret builds, and so Riot is you can sense the fear in every word he says. He's in chat right now, and I see him quaking.
Yeah, for sure. I think Jack Gaming has the people behind him as well. He's kind of the people's champion, right? You have Mandarin Duck Squad, the Hudson Bay Bigs. They got Mido, Samwise 12. Diaruga, those guys are team champions. But if you talk about who's the champion of the people, it's got to be Jack Gaming, 100%. So he's going to have a lot of energy going towards his way. I think I'll be in the Twitch chat myself, spamming, let's go, Jack, or something. And hopefully that's enough for him to 5-0 Riot Coke. I don't know.
All right. Yep. Looks like players, still having some FTGA issues. They've all done their full restarts, but we're going to try to get into this game as soon as possible.
Right on. Yeah, Riot Cook says match of the decade, 20 GMT. About 1 hour and 40 minutes, everyone. I'm also curious how the jailed 3v3 is going, because I haven't been able to tune into that since I've started.
Yeah, I was just watching it like on the side. I haven't really kept up with that tournament. Didn't even know what the brackets are. I was impressed to see David in the finals of it. Still a little confused about how that happened, but yeah. Haza in the finals, of course, is no surprise. He's incredibly good.
Right. I haven't really been paying attention to the tournament either, except for I have been watching the finals. And Haza's team took a quick 2-0 lead over David, a.k.a. Gibson, and Hot Girl and Ironic Virus. But they are playing game number 4 at the moment, and Haza's up 2-1. And this game started before I went live, so it's now at 35 minutes on Cascade Range, and it's still going. And I think that David's team is winning. So it's a best of 5. So if David's team ties this up 2-2, then it's going to go into the decisive last match. So that could be potentially exciting.
This actually reminds me. I think I had a dream very recently that I was in this 3v3 tournament or something. I was playing Portuguese, and I just picked like a full treaty deck, like not even 700 wood, 700 gold, just full like upgraded walls and like boat upgrades. And then I realized my mistake because we just got rushed hard, and my teammates blamed me, and I was really sad. That was my dream.
That's a really nice dream. Have you considered posting it in the off-topic ESOC dreams thread?
I'll consider it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll settle for that.
I'm trying to remember the details of the dream. I think it was very recent, but of course, after even a couple minutes after your dream, you forget all the good stuff.
Yeah, this is why the first thing that you should do when you wake up, at any point during the night, or if when you eventually wake up in the morning, is you should log on to ESOC on your phone, and immediately head over to the off-topic section and navigate to that dream thread and post your most recent dream, because not enough people are doing that lately, and I think it's a pretty good thread. Some good dreams in there.
Yeah, it's a good thread. I think I did post it once, and I was just posting about how whenever one of my players plays their match at like 5 a.m. for me or like 7 a.m., I have really bad dreams about them like playing their EPL matches and losing, and so basically I have bad dreams whenever EPL players are playing for Mandarin Duck Squad, because I always dream about them being like down 0-3 or something like that. And then I wake up and they're up 5-0, so it's great. But,
that is good. I think that's just the mark of a good manager right there.
Well, behind every good manager is a good analyst.
I don't know if you can call my contributions anything approaching analysis, but I'm just kind of along for the ride, and I'm enjoying it.
So just an update, I guess. Optimus is still in the restarting process. Their players are having some fail to join issues, and we're waiting for that to happen.
I might take this opportunity to grab a glass of water, so I will be right back.
All right, sounds good. Debating if I want to start talking about stuff or if I just want to go on mute and not make a fool of myself. All right, so Optimus is back. The players I've clicked in, or I've readied up with their matchups. Optimus is playing Russia, and kaister counterpicked with the Sioux. We're going to be getting into game number 2 as soon as Callan is back with his water.
All right, looks like I was holding things up, but match is finally starting.
So Optimus picked Russia on this map, and kaister responded with the Sioux. I'm liking the Sioux pick here. I think that they've been pretty popular on this map. It's a pretty big map, a lot of different attack paths that you can take. Russia, I think we've seen them out on this map a few times before as well. I think one of the advantages is because there are a lot of different choke points. It can make it very easy to control different sections of the map with good blockhouse placement. We'll see if it evolves to one of those late game stages where that's going to matter, or if Optimus is just kind of going to go in with a bunch of streetlet and muskets and just try to roll over kaister.
Yeah, I don't really know how to play this matchup. I mean, Russia's always a pretty good tournament pick, and actually Optimus Prime putting some villagers on the wood right away, so I think he's going to try to get an H1 trading post, which I am a fan of. Because I think he wants to go H3 eventually and just make like really overpowered strelets and stuff. And we'll have to see how kaiser responds to that. Because I mean, there's just so much stuff to talk about EP Sioux now because of their changes. Like if we just look at kaister's deck, which he hasn't selected yet, but when we do, I expect we'll see like 20 infinite bison and probably that adoption card, which lets his villagers train almost twice as fast, and sort of a more eco-centered Sioux style. So it'll be interesting to see how these two players and their different strategies match up.
Yeah, interesting bit of stuff out of Optimus because okay, yeah, so he didn't actually go for the trading post. He went for the market instead. I think I wasn't sure if he was going to go for the trading post or not because he made a house first, but I then said, oh, okay, maybe it's because you can't actually get that you need to make the house before the trading post just to get that next batch of villagers out. But I think once he saw the 90 coin, and now he's going for trading post anyway, so okay.
Yeah.
He's just doing all the things.
Doing all the things. So yeah, once he got that 90 coin, just collected the rest of. Oh, he also got 40 coin in base, so that is enough to just get him a free 100 wood with that market. So this market essentially is just kind of giving him a small XP boost before his first card, because he doesn't have the resources to get hunting dogs from it. But nonetheless, I think we're definitely going to be looking at a 17 villager age up from the Russian player. And that could be scary versus Sioux if they go for something like four Axe Riders first. And I don't like kaister's deck, man. He doesn't have 20 Infinite Bison or Adoption in his deck. So sad.
Well, yeah. Meanwhile, kaister has made one of his trading posts himself. He's actually gotten a posse of grizzly bears out, both Poncho as a treasure reward, and then 2 grizzly bears that he converted from Guardians. So looking like a small army there. he might be able to use that to pick up a few more treasures. I'm trying to see if there are any other good treasures on the map that are really high priority. But I'm actually leaning towards not really.
And not really. Sometimes this 3 sheep treasure is kind of good, if depending on your civ, if you're China, for example. But neither player can really make a whole lot of use out of it. But I do like that it was buffed. I think Kaiser was kind of the person behind tweaking treasures on EP and sort of making them more balanced. And this used to be just 2 sheep, but 3 sheep is definitely some more incentive to grab it. But don't expect we'll see that. So pretty much all the treasures are gone. So let me turn on Fog of War. Yeah. Just kind of standard stuff coming out for Kaister. He's already up aging, but yeah, as we said, definitely going to be 17 bill up here for Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I'm already interested in seeing what build he's going to go for. He did the normal first card of distributivism, but after that he is doing the 17 villager age up, which is, it's kind of fallen out of favor since, say, 10 years ago, when it was kind of a thing. These days you pretty much always go with 14 up. But he is going 17 up. He does have a trading post. We'll see if he throws down any more of those, or if he's gonna how he's gonna play. I think yeah, the point you make that he's gonna go for some sort of fortress play, use some of those really good straylets makes sense. Meanwhile, actually, Kaister is going pretty aggressive himself, laying down that forward war hut.
Yeah, I like this play because you can scout that your opponent took a trading post so early in their Russia. You kind of know that they're going to 17 bill. So this is, I mean, it's a good response from Kaister, but I don't know if it's playing too much into Optimus Prime's hands, because now he's just going to lay down a very defensive blockhouse. I expect anyways. It looks like he's actually waiting for the 400 wood age up in order to drop that down. So, with trying to rush Russia with a blockhouse in base, I just don't know how I feel about it intuitively. But I think Optimus is doing some even more unstandard stuff, because I look at his deck and he does have the Russian church card in there, and it almost looks like he's macroing for just like a naked FF behind this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the naked FF is coming out because he's got 14 villagers on food right now. He's got 700 food right now. He's probably going to have 1,200 pretty soon. Not gathering any wood except for the amount from distributivism, and so probably just 700. I think he had 2 shipments stacked up, so we're going to see probably 700 gold into 700 wood. And then, interesting build coming out, and the blockhouse does go down off that 400 wood age up.
Yeah, it's definitely 700 gold coming because he did send his shipment and he was already popped, so it could not have been a unit shipment. But only three CTM bows coming out, and then the 4 Axe Rider shipment. So it's gonna harass this blockhouse, but the blockhouse is really well placed for Optimus to pop villagers in and out of his town center, as we see he's doing, and should still get it up. I think these Axe Riders should have maybe just sieged the foundation instead.
Yeah, the blockhouse goes up. He got a little bit of damage done on the villagers, but didn't get any kills. And it's still going to be tough to harass these villagers because everything is so tightly packed in Optimus' space. These C10 bows just don't do that much damage, especially when there's only 3 of them. And they're probably just going to go down to normal TC fire. Guys are doing a bit of sieging on the town center. Yeah, okay, he's going to be tasked down onto the villagers. 7 war clubs is the follow-up, but yeah, that's still probably not going to be enough. He does get 1 villager down, which is nice for him, but okay, actually getting 2 villagers. Okay, so getting some damage done, but
yeah, Optimus doesn't have the food yet to age up, and he doesn't have any safe animals under his buildings right now, and a 3rd villager going down. So actually, Kaister's pressure is being super effective right now because Optimus just can't get the resources to age up yet.
Yeah, actually, I didn't realize that he didn't have enough gold to age up, and so. Oh, okay, wait. Yeah, the age up is coming in. He traded for it.
Yeah, he market traded it. Yeah, market traded for that, but I don't know. It just it feels like a lot of damage was done for Kaister. I think if you don't lose a villager there, you're still fine as Optimus, but this is going to be kind of tough to bounce back from.
Yeah, I think it was what is it? 4 villagers down, something like that. Actually, we can just check.
Yeah,
because
of lost. Okay, I mean, just 3, not as bad, I guess, as 4, obviously. But but it's still kind of a feels bad moment, you know. And he can't even collect all these crates of wood on the floor.
Yeah, the Russian economy, it's pretty tough, I would say, early game, because even though you're training villagers at a more efficient rate, because the villagers take kind of like this big upfront cost to pay, the Russian economy starts off a little slow, and kind of setting yourself back one batch of villagers effectively is going to be really good for kaister. It outscales really well this the way the villagers train, but early on it can be really tough. And yeah, we do see Optimus sending that unique church card and making that church, but kaister does scout it, so he's going to know what's coming. I would expect that Optimus's goal was to go for Kalmux,
Yeah.
but
Well, he does have the 1,000 wood banked for that, so he can.
yeah.
But like my reservation with the strategy is that on EP, Dragoon units across the board have been nerfed in their range resistance, so now it's just plus. I mean, it's only 20% range resist, I think, instead of 30 or something along those lines.
Yeah. Dragoon range resist was decreased down to 20% from 30 on
Yeah.
EP. Doing that Strela age up, so there's actually not a bad army of Strelas coming out right now. He did send 1,000. He spent 1,000 wood. Sorry. I believe that is Kalmux that's going to be coming, but it could be the veterancy upgrade. Nope, there's the Kalmux.
There's the Kalmux, and Optimus is just pushing Kaiser's FB, so he's going to pick off 2 villagers, but he loses 1 villager at least in base, now 2, and just a bit of a quasi-base trade? No, so Optimus Prime is going to go back here, but losing again more villagers.
Yeah, down to 14 villagers actually. For
this
Optimus.
is, yeah, I mean, this is less than he aged up with, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, but 700 coin to Kaister's FB, and his villagers were killed. So.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really feels bad moment.
And six approach sneaks are going to intercept the 3 that are coming to fetch it. Meanwhile, all the Sioux units at Optimus Prime's base have just been cleaned up. So this is kind of a swing of events, and Kaister just resigns. No way! What a game!
So far, I mean, this series has been everything I dreamed of. This is great. Both players are kind of just getting extremely far behind in different ways, and then it's not clear like who's really ahead. I think in this case, yeah, definitely Optimus Prime was ahead just because his army was so much better than Kaister's, but he also, yeah, he was at 12 villagers and 14 recalculated off his troopy division. But
yeah,
and then yeah, Kaister then chipping the coin to the forward base and then running the villagers in. That just yeah, I'm loving the series so far.
Yeah, that was a good one. I really like watching Optimus Prime play whenever he does, because he's sort of one of those unstandard or non-standard players. So he's usually got some good tricks up his sleeve, and especially with the 2 teams being decided for the playoffs, you know, I think both of these players, they want to win, but they don't have 4 people behind them upset if they lose, and so I think that can kind of lead to some friendlier, non-standard games. I'm just trying to think what Kaister could have done maybe to not lose so hard.
Yeah.
Like I think instead of 6 Cetans after the war clubs, you already kill like 3 or 4 villagers by then. Maybe just ship 700 wood, get stagecoach, and try to age up or something like that. But
yeah, it's hard to say. I think he maybe bled a few too many units after getting some of the early villager kills. Once he saw the church, he should I guess recognize that Kalmux are going to be the next thing. And then you need some number of units to be able to defend against that. Otherwise they're just going to run into your base and send the opportunists and just start idling you. I think ultimately, yeah, he showed some really nice play just by getting a lot of those villagers, but he didn't really have any units in the end. And then, of course, yeah, there's the easy mistakes you can point to: shipping the gold to your forward town center, losing some of the villagers, both that were at your forward base, and then the villagers that you ran to go get the gold also being lost to the opportunists. Those are easy mistakes to point to, but I think otherwise he may have stayed a little bit too much under TC fire.
Yeah, good analysis there.
We're from the best.
Maybe even better analysis than me. I don't know, but looks like we're gonna decide the matchup for game number 3, which is on Dhaka, which is the most interesting map of the Civ pool, I think. I still don't know if players know how it should be played, but Kaiser's just, it looks like he locks Ottoman.
Yeah, he just slammed that Ottomans like immediately. I think that's pretty popular on this map. This is an interesting map partially because there are, yeah, as you say, people aren't really sure how to play this map yet. But Ottomans makes it. Ottomans reduces the amount of knowledge that people have sort of developed on this map. The theory of this map hasn't been developed too much because everybody just goes for these Ottoman mirrors like this, and as a result, we don't really know too much about optimal play. We just know about how to play Ottomans on this map.
Yeah,
We're going to see another one.
it looks like we're going to learn how to play Ottomans a little bit more. I'm the most notable Ottoman mirror matchup on this map that I can think of is B Winner versus Minimolt. Did you watch that one
game.
live?
I don't think I watched the entirety of it, but I watched most of it, and I saw some of the highlights of it, so to speak.
Yeah, the boat play was kind of the highlight of that game, going on in the middle of the map. So I think it's important that both players have 2 galleys, 1 frigate, and also 3 galleys in their deck. I'll check in once players select their cards, but it looks like this is a wood start, so both players are going to slam down a mosque, I believe, and then a trading post, or potentially you can just chop for the house and go for 2 trading posts off the start.
Yeah, it looks like kaister is just going to go for the mosque and trading post, and I think Optimus is, as you mentioned, well, okay, no, he's throwing down a mosque himself, so Optimus is chopping wood.
He's going Silk Road.
Wait, oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's smartly leaving 20 wood left in all of these crates so that when he ships that card, which is an Age 1 card now on EP, they're going to go up to, I believe, like 65 wood or something like that. Or 60 wood? I don't know.
I don't think it's quite that much. So it's a 25% increase. So I think it just each one is 100 wood. So it goes to, it's not 25% on 20. It's 25% on 100, right? So,
right.
That makes it 25 wood.
Yeah. Okay. So 45. Yeah. For these 20 left in. But yeah, you explained it much better than I did. So 25% increase on all your crates. So if there are some existing already on the floor, it goes off of that original base, which is 100. So
yeah. So basically just gets a free 100 wood off that shipment.
Yeah.
The other part of Silk Road, which I would say is pretty well known, but I want to bring it up anyway, is that it improves your trading posts as well. The XP generation stays the same, but if you stagecoach the trading post, then you get an extra 25% resources for whatever resource you gather. So Silk Road, it used to be a very strong card. It still is a strong card on vanilla, where it's 30%, and then colonial. But on Asian Dynasties, it went down to 15%, kind of fell out of favor. But EP has turned it into an Age 1 card that goes 25%. So definitely a viable pick now.
For sure. And just checking out both of these players' decks, Kaister only has the 2 galleys, whereas Optimus Prime has the 2 galleys, the 1 frigate, and the 3 galleys as well. So just kind of off the bat, I'm kind of liking Optimus's, I don't know about strategy, but I definitely like his deck more. But we'll have to see how play actually evolves. And there it goes. Silk Road does hit the floor. Actually, before 3 villagers. So I think normally you ship this after 3 villagers, but he's just going for it right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about which one is better between 3 villagers followed by Silk Road versus probably what he'll do here is just skip 3 villagers entirely and just go for the Silk Road and then normal stuff after that. We do see him laying down that second trading post. He gathered up all the wood crates on the ground. And now he got a lot of yaks. Actually, he got 5 yaks. He's killed 3 of them. So he was a little slow on the age up because of all the, I guess, shenanigans that has been going on. But he's going to be aging up. Clicking up at 310, which is a little late for Ottomans, but early enough to be able to hold any sort of timing push that Kaister goes in early age 2.
Definitely. And let's see, text being researched. So both players aging with the Quartermaster, which, heck, is that the
That's the 400 wood.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting because most players are aging with the tower on this map so that they can try to secure pawn control. But
Right.
it looks like that's, you know, pawn control is not really a top priority for either player at the moment.
Yeah, I think you know, wood is very important in this matchup. There's not a lot of it available, and you do want to be able to lay down all those trading posts and so on, and even the walls that Keister's going for right now. So yeah, even though you're right, the tower is the more popular choice. This wood does pay off a lot for both players, and it is technically the more you know, the more cost efficient option.
True.
Especially if the tower doesn't do much for you, which I don't think either player is currently planning to do any water play.
Yeah, perhaps they even just send a PM before the match, just decided, hey, let's not send boats. But I kind of doubt that. But you know, either way, Keister is macroed pretty well to have a pretty quick FF here. I imagine 700 coin is going to hit the floor. There we go, right at that moment, and he 700 coin hits the floor right as Optimus actually ages up to H2. So he's quite far behind, but he does have, you know, 3 TP to 1 stagecoach advantage, and somehow he's still even on villagers. It says 15 to 15 recalculated economic pop.
Yeah. Okay. So he did actually send 3 villagers after Silk Road.
Oh, I need to have that shipment stab up there. Okay.
Yeah. This is interesting out of Keister, or sorry, out of Optimus. Keister's doing normal stuff. Keister is a perfectly good build. Optimus, meanwhile, he's shipped 3 villagers as a second card, but he does have this stagecoach. Or does he have stagecoach?
No.
No, he doesn't have stagecoach. Just just 3 TPs, which is good, of course. But he's gonna his 700 coin comes in after, so he's gonna be doing another fast fortress, just like Keister, but it is going to be, I would say, quite a bit later. Keister's probably gonna be halfway aged up before Opti even clicks up.
Yeah, and I think Keister has noticed this because he's built a gate in his wall, and I think he wants to start right-clicking units onto Optimus' side of the map pretty soon. But Optimus is laying down his wall foundations before Keister's clicked up, so this is going to slow down his push a bit, but you know, it's just
Looks like
going to be
Opti.
down for him to hold.
So Opti was a little bit mismacroed on the gold there. I think he kind of noticed that, oh, I'm 10 gold short of aging up, and slammed a bunch of villagers on the gold just now. But he is clicking up too. Both players actually clicked up with Admiral of the Ocean Sea. And I am not feeling this flag. I'm a little skeptical that this one's actually going to place.
Ooh. If it places, very good question, because it's very close to those shallows, which aren't actually part of the water. It's a little deceiving because it kind of looks like it, but there's an outpost being dropped by Optimus. If it spawns, I don't know if this outpost goes up. It's going to be close.
Yeah. I think yeah. If it places, the outpost will not go up. Well, it'll go up. It'll take a lot of damage.
Yeah, okay.
The galley does place. Yeah.
There was room on the other side of the flag, so it places, and immediately one villager going down building this outpost, and the second as well. Yeah, that outpost, I mean, it's a really good idea, but it was just 10 seconds too late, and it's just going to go down now.
Yeah, villagers coming in to finish the outpost, but that outpost was already down, and yeah, Optimus is going to want to run those villagers away because galleys actually take them down really fast. 2-shotting villagers.
Yeah.
Keister following this up by putting some Janissaries on the trading post. It did go to stagecoach now, but I think he's going to be losing. Optimus is going to be losing at least this one trading post. He does have his flag also placed now on the water, which means that we're going to have a galley contention. Not sure which way it's going to go. I think Keister's taken 4 damage on, or 6 damage on his galley, but I don't think that's going to matter.
It looks like Optimus Prime is going to win the RNG war. No,
nope.
Keister wins the RNG war. So his galley survives with 14 HP, and yeah, things are looking good for Keister right now. Stagecoach came in kind of the wrong time for Optimus Prime. He couldn't defend it at all. And with this pawn control still in Keister's favor, it's going to going to take another kind of miracle from Optimus to come back from this. He's trying to lay down a very forward town center, but Kaister is not being complacent with his Jans, being very active with them. And but a frigate comes out.
Frigate. Okay. Yeah, and Kaister, we remember Kaister doesn't actually have any H3 cards for sea control, so this, Optimus is going to completely retake control of the sea, I think, and this trading post now that Kaister's trying to build, probably not going to be going up, and even if it does, it's going to go down very quickly.
Yeah, I guess this is why pawn control is so important on this map. And earlier when I said Optimus needed a miracle, that was pretty poor phrasing, because all he needed was a 1 frigate card. And now the momentum and the advantage just feels like it's completely swung. Even though everything's relatively even and Kaiser is actually up a bit in economy and military, just this 1 frigate, Kaiser's no way to deal with it unless he trains some Culverin from his artillery foundry, which he does have in queue. So it looks like we are going to see Culverin from Kaister.
Yeah, that town center as well, I think, was a very strange placement. You were placing it like right in front of your opponent's jams that you can see. But then when the frigate came in, I said, oh, okay, actually, you know what? It's good town center placement now. So 2 Falcons coming out for Kaister as well as 2 Culverins. He's got a good number of Janissaries massed up here, and I think he's going to be able to do something to this frigate. Cannon control against frigates can be dicey because frigates do a lot of damage to cannons as well. In terms of range, I think the Culverins, I believe they outrange. I'm not too sure.
They have 36, I think.
Yeah, it looks 34. Like 34.
Yeah, they definitely outrange the frigate, and it should be able to pressure the frigate no matter where he is on the pawn, which is why Culverins are very strong on this map. And Kaister actually has a trading post or a town center in the north of the map too, but Optimus Prime snuffed that out, and he's sieging it. And also very aware with his boat. I like this. Gets that broad shot off on the Falconet right away. The frigate is going to go down, but he trades it for a Falconet and a half of hit points. And Optimus Prime has laid down an artillery foundry of his own, so he's also training Culverin, and when he eventually ships 2 Falconets, he should have the edge in the artillery at that point, but could get caught here, actually. 8 Jans shipped to this town center along with Minutemen, and the rest of Kaister's militaries trying to find the angle to cut off Optimus Prime's Janissaries.
Yeah, actually really good play from Kaister there, getting the 8 Jans to the forward town center and getting the Minutemen as well. He's going to get a nice catch here, picking off a few Jans. Probably not going to clean up the army. I think the army is going to get it out, but still looking nice. Getting the treasure too for his work, although not a very important treasure at this point.
Yeah, not quite. Another Janissary falling for free from Optimus, and he's down 27 to 60 military. He's just shipping tons of crates, trying to take advantage of his Silk Road shipment, but just isn't getting enough stuff out on the map fast enough. He does get a batch of 2 Culverins out, so he's going to try to work with those, but he does not have enough Jans to protect them, honestly.
Yeah. Getting a nice snipe on one of the Culverins from Optimus, but even so, there's a Falconet still alive. Even if he takes it down with his Culverins, it's still a lot of Jans to a very small number of Jans. Yeah, actually, this Falconet's probably going to stay alive.
That Culverin only needs to shoot once. Oh no, because it's got a little over half HP, so I think it will survive. I don't know. It's not targeting.
I think this will kill.
Ooh, 2 Falconets being trained. For Optimus Prime, so this could be enough for him to hold, but melee Jans, and Kaister is smartly pulling back that Falconet, so that 1 Falconet does still stay alive. And things are kind of close. Minutemen from the town center being called.
Yeah, this fight's getting really interesting. I think the Falconet's going to go down to the Minutemen, but the Falconet has put in a lot of work. There's not a lot of Jans left for Optimus Prime. Even so, with these 2 Falconets, it might be tough for Kaister to push in unless he just goes for interest to melee in, or even shoot in. But actually... those were shipped Falconets. Those were trained, yeah. So we got another 2 Falconets.
I didn't realize that either. So pretty much all the military pop right now for Optimus Prime is in these Falconets and like a handful of Janissaries and Minutemen. So, not a lot there to protect them, but there's not a lot to kill them for Kaister that isn't Janissaries. He doesn't have any Mamluks or Spahis on the floor yet. So this could be, Optimus Prime could get some pretty good traits here.
Yeah, he can't really push out too aggressively because, as you say, there's not a lot of protection. He might actually pick off some of these Janissaries. Getting a nice volley, but Janissaries are pretty tanky. So not phenomenal. Yeah, Keister, he does have the luxury of being able to take down his trading post, being able to be a little bit more active on the map right now because there's not really that much protection for these Falconets. But I'm interested in seeing his response. I know he has a Culverin in queue. He might need a couple more, actually, to deal with the number of Falconets and Culverins that Optimus now has. Ooh, going for Abyss as well. I think that was his next shipment, yeah.
Yeah, 5 Abyss is good here. It does well versus everything that Optimus Prime has on the floor, just from Janissaries to Falconets to even Culverins. But yeah, like you said, he's going to need at least 2 Culverins down. He does have 2 Culverins queued up, so I think it's just going to come down to the artillery micro again. And Optimus Prime only trained 1 Culverin himself, so he's going to get 2 shot if he's not careful by Keister's Culverins that are just trained now. So I think it would be smart for him to go back, and it looks like that's what he's going to do. Janissary combat coming out for Keister, so kind of a nice time for him to take a fight, I think.
This could be good for him. Yeah, there's a lot of Janissaries out on the field for Keister right now. The Janissary count for Optimus has gotten okay, but it's still not that big. If there were Hussars, for instance, I think with the number of Falconets that Optimus has, there would be good angles for the Hussars to take. That said, it is 2 Culverins and 5 Abyss. That is how Keister's going to be dealing with the cannons right now, and I think that should be enough for him. He's going to be able to push this trading post down. Lots of trading posts going down so far this game, and Optimus is clearly not ready to take that fight.
Yeah, we could be ripe for 3 galley shipment in the pond. Optimus sent his last card at 14-15, so he doesn't have the card yet, but if he gets that experience, before this town center goes down and he's able to use those 3 galleys to snipe these 2 Culverins, he could be in a very good spot.
5 more trained Abyss out for Keister. They're not veteran yet, and it may be something that he wants to do. But the fight is going to be happening, and Keister can't actually pull away from this fight. He has to take it, but it looks like Optimus is not able to fight it.
Ooh, another trained Culverin coming down. So he's actually got pretty good volleys on the Culverins.
Yeah, both Culverins going down now for Keister. It's only Abyss to deal with these Falconets, and these Abyss might be dying too. Keister knows he just has to run in. But...
Yeah, getting good volleys on these Falconets. There's still 1 full HP left alive up top, and most of the Abyss are pretty much gone, just a handful alive in the back. So, I mean, overall, pretty good trade for Keister. Optimus Prime has a shipment on the way. It could be 3 galleys, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for him. He's kind of lost all of his artillery.
Yeah, actually, I think overall the fight did end up going in Keister's favor. I think the gen numbers just ended up being pretty good for Keister overall. So even though he got really good Falconet shots, or let's say Optimus did, it wasn't enough to deal with the number of Jans. And the Abyss, they're not just good against Falconets; they're also pretty good against Janissaries, even in their colonial Abyss against Vet Jans. Spotty now.
Interesting choice, but I mean these Jans are Jan combat in melee mode. I don't see these Spahis. Well, Spahis could be a pretty good unit here.
Yeah, those Abyss were a little bit indecisive about what they actually wanted to be doing in this fight, kind of walking back and forth when they probably should have been shooting those Jans, because I think, Spahi, they take a lot of damage from the Jans, of course, but they also do a lot of area damage, and as a result, Optimus is going to be able to at least... I guess he's not going to win the fight, but he's not going to lose too badly. He lost his town center, but at least he didn't lose his other town center in the main, and he didn't lose all the villagers. Still, I'd say overall this went in Keister's favor. He got, he's 46 villagers to 38. He's got 2 town centers to 1. He's been stacking up 2 shipments, probably because he was so focused on the micro in that fight that he's forgot things to send. He does have a couple shipments that he can send still. I think 5+ stars would be a good choice here.
He's just sent the Mamelukes because he did have a 1,000-point bank. So that's definitely going to be, I think, a GG shipment when that does pop up, because, as you said, Keister's pretty much just very far ahead behind all this, just in terms of his economy. He's actually been getting steel traps on his villagers, which I feel like you almost never see in Ottoman games. So I like his position a lot. Another 2 Falconets coming out for Optimus Prime, so he's really doubling down on this kind of artillery advantage that he wants to get. Maybe he can get a really swingy fight and bring himself back into the game.
Yeah, nice volleys there, although the second volley after that didn't actually kill any Abyss guns. I think one of the cannonballs kind of missed there. So the Abyss guns are still alive, but they're all pretty low HP. I think though you're right that the Mameluke shipment is gonna be the key to this next fight. There's not a lot of stuff out for Optimus Prime, and Kaister has potential to just clean up. Mameluke's coming into the forward town center, yeah,
Yeah,
and there's not a lot of hands here.
I like this. Maybe the timing's a little off though, because there are gonna be no units left to help out these Mamelukes. So the Falconets will fall, but you don't really want 4 Mamelukes on their own. I guess here come 5 Aegis guns. But still, I mean, these melee Jans are doing work.
I think with the reinforcing batch of 5 Jans from Kaister, it's going to be enough again for Kaister. The Hussars weren't really tasked onto the Abyss guns too much, and Abyss guns still do really well against Janissaries. The Mameluke's actually going down. There's only one left, and I would have liked to see Kaister probably save them a little bit more. But still, this fight does go in Kaiser's favor again. He's going to be able to probably take down this trading post unless there's a lot of reinforcements for Optimus coming out. Looks like he's got 4 or another 4 Jans, plus a Falconet and Q. Yeah, I think Kaister is still coming out ahead in most of these fights. He's on the TP line. He's got 2 trading posts to 1. He's about to take down this last one. And villager production is still going really well for him, even hunting on Optimus' side of the map.
Yeah, but I mean, these Falconets, Kaister is like coming out ahead on trades, but I feel like he's not ever taking the best trades. But potentially he's just too far ahead right now, so he's just gonna right click everything here. Take out Optimus Prime's kind of last 2 Falconets, and after this, Optimus isn't gonna have anything left to his name until he trains some more Janissaries. But yeah, picking off this TP, and Optimus calls it GG. So Kaister is taking his first win so far in this series on map number 3, and getting a nice dub for SKG here.
Yeah, looks like it's now 2-1 in favor of Optimus, but Kaister showed some pretty good play there. Yeah, did the more standard build. Optimus did something pretty strange, but even after the build kind of stabilized, I think Kaister showed generally pretty good play here. Just doing well by keeping his Jan numbers up, even though he took some bad trades against Falconets. I think he kind of had that more stuff principle just working out for him generally, and he was able to take his first. No, he's been playing before. His first game in this series, but he's been doing pretty well for SKG overall.
Yeah, Kaister, one of their better performing players, I think. And picking up the dub here, some standard Ottomans. You love to see it. The Ottoman mirror on Daka. It's just, I think it's become a classic now. It's like Tibet. Do you remember Tibet? And everyone just played China mirrors on it?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that are classics because they're really good. And then there are some things that are classics just because you just force it to be one because that's the only thing you ever see. I would say this one might be more towards the latter than the former. That is to say, Ottoman mirrors and Daka. But I think some of the games have been pretty enjoyable, especially when we see a lot of Pond stuff going on, like Mini Bolt versus B Winner.
Yeah.
Even here, there are some pretty good Pond things going on.
Yeah, Pond things are fun as a viewer, for sure. But we have a more standard map coming up. I think it's Kamchatka.
Yep, Kamchatka, I would say, is a sort of one of the an all-time great map. This is very popular with players, with viewers. It's something where a lot of different stuff works. Yeah, kind of the classic AoE experience is what we see on Kamchatka right now. So Optimus logged off, probably was trying to fix some fail to join or sound or something like that. But we'll be getting into game 4 pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I just saw in the EPL general chat the leaked CMC chat communication that Daniel posted, which is titled Optimus's first recorded message on the CMC Discord, and it's him saying, "Yeah, we made it." It's funny.
I wouldn't be surprised if that actually was
I
Optimus's
think
first.
it is like true. Yeah. Oh man.
Different players and different teams have different standards of communication. I would say some teams are pretty active on Discord and have other players participating, but some players they just don't use Discord that much, or they don't communicate that much in general, and so it's always fun to see them pop in and when they pop in. Optimus has had some famous scheduling. I'd say the CPL, or just in general.
Yeah, Optimus is I guess one of the more notorious people to schedule with. And Kaiser just sent me a message. It looks like both players are having failed to join issues again. So
Yeah,
both players are probably going to be restarting their rigs, and it might be a couple minutes before we get into the next one. Just an FYI.
I'll take this as an opportunity to be back and get some water, etc. So I'll be back in about a minute.
Sounds good. So just to remind everyone, we do have Riot Coke versus Jack Gaming up after this series, scheduled for, I believe, 19 GMT. Let me double check. At 20 GMT. Pardon me. So in an hour and a half, Riot Coke versus Jack Gaming should be some good fun. If you don't know those players, I think we're just going to see lighthearted, kind of, some very interesting strats between a couple players. So stick around for that one. I think it's gonna birth some good memes. So it should be very fun. But in the meantime, we do have Kaister versus Optimus Prime. They played 3 matches. Optimus is currently up 2-1, but both players having some failed to join issues, so they are restarting their computers. And let me check out Jailed's tournament, if that's still going on or not. Oh, that's the wrong account. Well, he's still live. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I think it just ended. I think Team Hawk Girl, Jean Raphael, aka Gibson, and Ironic Virus just beat Haza 54321, Axemen, and Total Chaos in the finals of the 3v3 tournament. 3-2. And if I'm not mistaken, Haza's team got off to a quick 2-0 lead, so I think that this was a reverse sweep. Because it's just a best of 5. Let me try to confirm that in the chat. I can briefly bring this up maybe.
There is not a big deal as long as we could continue to push them off, because that map you'll see there's a lot of mines and stuff in the middle, so as long as we could push them off the mines, and then obviously not lose our entire eco to Opries, we kind of felt like we'd be okay, because we were all.
Yeah, I think that this is a winner team interview going on right now.
A lot of the game, and so. And we kind of felt like late game we kind of had better we'd have.
All right, looks like players still not getting their failed to join resolve, but hopefully that'll be done soon. Looks like it's kind of a random thing. Sometimes they can get it to work, sometimes not, and they just have to keep restarting until it works.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I've been tuning over to watch the Jailed 3v3, just checking on that. And yeah. I think David's team just won.
Wait, did they win the tournament?
Yeah, No. It's a best of 5, and Haz's team got off to a 2-0 lead, and David's team reverse swept the victory.
What a world to live in, where even David can win a tournament.
How can David win a tournament? That's too funny. We'll have to have soon. We'll have to have like an NA celebration night to
Oh yeah,
celebrate all the exciting stuff.
Team NA making playoffs. Even though at this point there's like 2 NA players on the team. Team David. For those who don't know, David is also known as Gibson, making it to I guess beating out Hazza in a tournament. We can say David beat Hazza in a tournament, can we not?
Yeah,
We can ignore the 3v3 part. Yeah, just
that's definitively true. Yeah.
give me just one moment. Unless, can you hear the vacuum going on behind me by any chance?
It's pretty quiet, so
Okay. Okay. Hopefully it won't be too much longer, but I'll check really quick.
all right. I think both of these players were able to finally connect. I got an invite, and for some reason I'm trying to download Kamchatka. Already some good discussion in the chat about the upcoming Riot Coke versus Jack Gaming. We love to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. I mean, this kaister Opti match has given me everything I could dream of and more. But that one will blow my mind, I think.
Yeah,
the Riot Coke versus Jack. Yeah.
Probably not going to be able to watch another Age of Empires 3 series after that because it'll just be, it'll be so good.
Pretty high level play that's going to be coming up. And of course, they're mostly friendly matches at this point. CMC has qualified for the playoffs now because Optimus won game 1. But even so, friendly matches can still be competitive. Can still see some really good play out of both players. So if you're interested in seeing that, keep watching right after this one.
Yeah, I'm actually giving Riot Coke my my Halberdier build orders Dutch, so might bust that one out.
All right, and I think we're going into game 4 soon, but I needed to load Kamchatka, so that's.
Yeah, I think I've asked Optimus Prime. Okay, he's got it on the normal map now.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's turn off unexpected events. Go to summer. Good.
Okay, nice. He's on top of it.
Okay. I mean, this is interesting. Regardless, is one way of putting it. It'd be interesting in seeing if we get an out of sync at some point during this game. But I'll reserve my comments, and I don't want to be too judgmental here.
Yeah, at least it's not. I think that out of sync happened on Iowa.
Yeah.
Is that the next map or?
No, that's the first map. So we're past
right.
that issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Players cooking in. Japan was Optimus's pick, and then kaister counterpicked with the Aztecs. Historically, this is known to be a very very good matchup for Aztecs. You could even say Aztec is like the counter to Japan. But it's people who are Japan players kind of know to expect this. If they first pick Japan, they know that an Aztec or a Russia is likely coming, and it's an area where I think a lot of Japan players kind of practiced a lot. So I think Upti, even though he picked into this, I think he knows what is coming. And looks like players are saying ESO is down, so that's fun.
Yeah, kind of a big rip. I'm just kind of looking at the players in the lobby. So we have XYZH Optimus Prime, XYZH Kaister, XYZH DJ Too Strong. But no.
You want me to get onto my XYZH account?
Do you have one?
I do have an XYZH account. Yeah.
No way.
Very secret Smurf.
Oh,
Let me log on.
That'd be hilarious.
BRB. Oh wait. Oh sorry.
You can do it next one. We'll get.
Yeah, I'll just click in. I didn't realize we were already in. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'll log onto my XYZH account next. Yeah.
Okay. That would be great. Let's populate that pregame lobby with tortoises.
I guess for those of you who don't know, XYZH clan Tortoise, one of the most powerful clans in all of Age of Empires.
All of gaming.
All of gaming, yeah. Got big players, big names. Mito, Kajak I Am Turk, I believe.
I think so.
Prince actually, SKG.
Snow
He
was
left
in there.
SKG and now, yeah.
It's kind of growing, actually. Pretty neat.
Actually, pretty much everybody in Team House just left Team House to join Tortoise. It was a little sad, actually, but Conqueror now is
Oh,
Tortoise
wait,
player.
Conqueror? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Team House is still alive, just
in spirit now, rather than in like an actual clan. Okay, it looks like ESO is still down. I'm going to go log off to my new account.
Okay.
Be right back. Wait. Let me in.
Oh.
No.
Tell them to let me in.
Okay, alright, they kicked. I don't even know what account this is. Hopefully they don't kick it too. Oh, this is you. I scrolled past this name earlier in the chat and I didn't, obviously don't know how to pronounce it. I shouldn't have even said it was Duck. I should have screened up. Right on. So now we are full tortoise power, energy level through the roof. Yeah.
Pretty high level clan. I said this before. I just want to reiterate. It's not one of those clans where everybody makes officer either. Like, there's a very strict hierarchy. I'm a mere member in the clan. I think some people are only applicants. You really got to be really good to get to officer.
I was talking to Danger Noodle, the leader of the clan, and he got me in there, and I had to plead with him to make me member temporarily so I could send a welcome message in the clan chat. So he finally conceded and he made me a member for about 5 seconds, and then I said, well, hi, and I was immediately demoted back down to applicant. And I was talking about the hierarchy with him a bit. He says that, so Riot Coke is actually in the clan as well, and Riot Coke is on perpetual applicant status. Will never rise up to members. So I think that's actually what Riot Coke wanted, but kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a member who has the quality of play deserving of an applicant, I would say Riot Coke probably fits that bill.
Yeah.
But we're going into game 4. It's Kaister as the Aztec spawning up in the northern side of the map against Optimus Prime as the orange Japanese on the southeastern side. We've seen a lot of really interesting builds out of Optimus so far, and we'll see what he goes for this time. It looks like so far just normal stuff of Consulate and probably just gathering one extra bit of wood to get that first shrine. And finding a nice treasure in the middle of the map too, 85 wood, especially useful as Japan.
Yeah, and he's going to pick this up super quick also with the help of that free macaque that he spawns within his treasure, or in his base. And 85 wood, can he find like another 40 wood or something to get a free shrine? Or I guess that is also enough for a free shrine once he ships Kami, if he chooses to do it as his first card with that Portuguese consulate buff. We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, Portuguese consulate coming in. We'll probably see him lay down a shrine right now, and yeah, we've got one. Actually, a little bit close. Usually, I think you want to put your first shrine kind of far out, but well, I guess it will be easier to defend, and he's probably not expecting to get too many shrines up against Aztec. So never mind, Optimus. Don't listen to me.
Oh, interesting. I'm just looking at decks. Kaister has High Priest of. Cannot pronounce that word. Tilton. Tilton?
It's tough because a lot of these letters all look the same in the font. But it's Tilton. All right. Well, anyway, he's got the War Chief card.
Yeah, the War Chief card, and not the Smoking Mirror one. Well, he has that too, but this one just improves him in combat and lets him chain Jaguars and Optimus Prime. standard Japanese deck, since Kami is his first card and also has Enlist Irregulars in there if he needs it, he's just going so far for the standard Kami Shrine Boom. But versus Aztecs, you know, questionable. But I think it's possible to get away with it as a Japanese player, but you have to play kind of perfectly. It's much easier to play from the Aztec side, I do believe.
Yeah, well, so if we're looking at this Aztec deck, I think something notable is, yeah, there are a couple of War Chief cards here. There's also the Infinite 20 Mace Falcon Shipment, and that means that this is a viable fast industrial deck, effectively, right? It's got the important cards.
Yeah.
So we could see Kaister not go for the colonial play that I would say is kind of expected, and go instead for the fast industrial. And if that's the case, then this Kami Shrine Boom is actually going to pay off really well.
And I think that that's what we're going to see. Because Kaiser is not aging fast. Well, he's aging with the Shaman, so he could still do some colonial stuff, I suppose, but it's not the typical super fast Aztec rush. And he's laying down a market now in base. This does kind of seem like some longer term play out of Kaiser. However, he's not dancing on the fire pit yet, so can't really say for certain. But this Kami Shrine Boom is kind of going to pay off now, like you said, for Optimus Prime. It seems like he's going to have some breathing room for a while.
Yeah, I am feeling a fast industrial or fast fortress out of Kaister. And you know, as Japan in this matchup, you tend to start off playing pretty defensively because if you're not really on point with your defense, Aztec just runs in and kills you. 10 out of 10 times. So the fact that Optimus kind of went for this blind Kami build, or rather, Kaister would normally be able to gain an advantage just by expecting Optimus to have to play defensively early on, not make too many shrines, hopefully not blindly send like the Colonial Militia card, but even so, just playing defensively, not making a market, not making a lot of walls. But Optimus is going for this Kami build instead, and so Kaister's not going to get necessarily as much of an advantage as he'd want to if he goes for the fast fortress or fast industrial. Then again, he is sending these 2 forward war huts, so maybe all of this is meaningless anyway.
Yeah, I honestly can't tell because these could also be some kind of mind game war huts, or maybe I'm just looking into it all too much, and he's just wants to age up slow with the 2 war hut because it's kind of meta now. And I do believe that Optimus Prime scouts this right away, immediately starts laying down that pillarless wall, and sets him up for some nice defense of a market going down, not yet a military building. And Kaiser's pop, so he's definitely sending a unit shipment of sorts, I believe.
Yeah, I think this has to be the 10 basis shipment.
Yeah. He's got to lay down some houses. Frantically laying down 3 in his base.
Okay, wait, so he canceled the shipment and now he sent something else. He was at 20 out of 20 pop and then he went down to 20 out of 20. There's no thing that is 2 pop, so I might be miscounting something. I'm trying to figure out what he sent. He laid out a lot of houses just there. Maybe actually made a couple too many houses because he doesn't have population problems anymore.
Oh, I wonder if 600 wood isn't actually coming now. And he's just going to go for a slower timing. Get some Pumas out to just start sieging some of these exposed shrines, but just now the barracks coming down for Optimus. So these Pumas won't be challenged for a while now. Does he have the... He does. He got the War Chief upgrade from the Fire Pit, so I think it triples all experience you get from the War Hut, or from the War Chief aura. So now killing a shrine gives him 144 experience, which is insane.
Yeah, you're right. It is triple, and it is one of the reasons why Aztec, I think, is really strong in this matchup, because there's a lot of shrines out on the map at this point in the game, and so you just get massive amounts of XP just by doing normal stuff. So Kaister did send the 10 Nasus afterwards. He got a couple of Coyotes out as well. Optimus, in sort of classic Japan play, didn't lay down a barracks until 6 minutes into the game. But he's been defended with these walls, and he's got a few Yumis out, so he may still be able to hold here.
Yeah, maybe. He still has that Enlist and Regulars card he could potentially send, but he's not going to be holding on to this barracks for very long. There's just, batch of 3 Yumi coming out now. Is that really what you need? both sets of irregulars, so it's going to push back these Mace Sultan and Coyote runners for now. But this barracks is definitely not gonna survive. And he's even got a stable behind this. Interesting.
Yeah, going for the stable was interesting. I mean, it makes sense as a decision, but Kaister is going to feel pretty good doing some damage here, and he's going to be able to pull back, I think, without taking too many losses. He forced out as well the Colonial Militia card out of Optimus Prime. Yeah, it's a very good card against Aztecs because it changes every unit for the Aztecs goes from 2 shots down to 1, I believe, except for maybe Coyote runners on this patch. But regardless, I think Kaister is feeling pretty good right now. He's putting down a lot of pressure. The barracks is going up again in the front, which means that it is liable to being sieged down again. And there's not a lot of units out for Optimus right now, and he doesn't have any Minutemen. I mean, he can call the big ones, but he doesn't have that many resources either.
Yeah, and only a 2 batch of Nagis coming out, so he's going to have to rely heavily on CM sort of doing its job here. And for the time being, it's getting him pretty decent trades. Like, this is very expensive for Kaister to sit under here because he doesn't have much of an economy behind this. He hasn't shipped 5 villagers yet. Meanwhile, Japan is on 150 shrine pop. So this could be just fine for Optimus. He's also just spent his export, as I was saying, and here come the bows that just pop out with 4 Ashy Garus. So he's going to hold just fine. This is really nice defense from Optimus.
Yeah, actually, really good timing of all these things. Getting the 5 Ashy from the barracks, plus the Besteros, plus the other 5 Ashy ship. Meaning that I think he's going to be pushing Kaister back here. Yeah, I think Kaister is running away with the units that he still has, and he's going to lose the War Chief from this as well. Still, he gets a lot of XP, that is to say Kaister does, off all of this. He's 2 shipments ahead in the progression with Optimus having a trading post. He shipped 6 Puma next. I think I agree that it would be nice to see him try to, expand his economy a little bit here. Going for that 5 villagers, going for the 3 warrior priests. But even so, he's coming along pretty nicely in his shipments, and he's been at least he's been idling Optimus Prime a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, recalculated economic population is 37 to 25, and there are kind of a ton of units for the Japanese player to defend. He's got just more Ashies and Nagis than Q, so I think he's just going to go Ashy Nagi and try to pit this out in H2. And up to 160 Shrine Pop now. Most of those are, haven't been sieged down. I think Kaister only sieged down a handful of shrines, so pretty solid Japanese player from Optimus, I think, and I would definitely give him the edge here. But pushing the 2 Aztec war huts is always pretty tricky, so I don't know what his approach is to that.
I don't think he has enough units, at least at the moment, to push it right now. There's a good mass out of Kaister. Not too many maces, but still a decent number. And yeah, you can't really push the war huts as it is. A couple of Nagi still not that many. It's enough that the Puma and the Coyotes can handle it. So even though Optimus is going for this play here, I think Kaister is going to be able to hold it. Then again, a lot of units are getting pushed back for Kaister, and he's not really handling this Ashy Mast.
Yeah, I think that that's a good trade for Optimus, but I don't know if he can stay here and fight this, just because Mace Sultans are so good. A couple of Pumas being thrown in here, can be thrown into cover mode to take some more shots, and look at these Mace Sultans just rapid firing behind this, doing so much DPS to these Ashikarus, and actually kind of a bit of a cleanup for Kaister, so this is a nice pickup for him. I guess Optimus kind of after enlisting regulars went 5 Ashy, and felt like he had to push. But, part of me says I don't know if you ever have to push in this matchup if you're Japan, especially if you have shrines still live out on the map.
Yeah, that was a really weird fight. Optimus, I think, took the early part of it really well. He was getting a lot of picks off on Kaister's units, and then Kaister was trying to chase 2 Nagis with a lot more units, leading to even more picks. But then Optimus just kind of ran his units up, sort of as if they were a bunch of Sepoy that were just going to smash in. But instead, he ran up, didn't really close the gap, and so the Mace Walton just got a bunch of free shots and picked off a ton of Ashy. And then the fight went really well in Kaister's favor instead. But Kaister coming back with this military advantage, and yeah, as you say, Optimus has had to go 5 Ashy, so even though he's ahead economically, he's not it's not a devastating economic lead right now. It's a 10 villager lead, which is meaningful, but it's not as if Optimus was able to do 4v without any punishment.
Yeah, very true. And that also brings up this point that I want to talk about, that Optimus Prime did get a very early trading post. So I like this a lot because it prevents Aztec from getting that trading post in early H2 when Japan had no units. So kind of going for a stagecoach build was not really an option right away for the Aztec player. So just kind of a nice adaptation and a bit of a raid here up top.
Yeah, this actually could be a really good raid for Optimus. I think Kaister figured it out and is reacting, so it's not going to be necessarily a GG raid. Which, if the units were out of position for Kaister, I think this absolutely would have just been a 20 villager kill for Optimus. But Kaister is going to lose some villagers. I think let's actually just check. Okay, 3 villagers going down. So good raid for Optimus. And he's doing a really smart thing now, pushing out because Kaiser's army had to go back. And his army actually was pretty small anyway. He's going to be taking down these two war huts.
Yeah, this is super nice. At least he's going to pick off one for free, can go back, or just try to press the initiative if he wants. He's kind of 5 Ashy, 5 Ashy, 5 Yumi, 5 Yumi behind all of this. So this is definitely his timing if ever he has one, and it looks like it's going to work because he's up 46 to 20 population now.
He got a ton of units out in a very short period of time, whereas Kaister seemed to have lost a lot of his mass. He went for the JPK. He sent another big button, I think, for some Pumas, but there's just not that many units out for Kaister. And his units were out of position, unable to defend the war huts. And yeah, he calls GG. Series goes 3-1 to Optimus right now.
Yeah, that's an impressive game, and I think one worthy of notes to be taken if you're a Japanese player and you find yourself against some aggressive civs, because I think that was just a solid build order and defense out of Optimus Prime there. Kind of showing everyone how it's done versus what's considered to be a pretty unfavorable matchup.
Yeah, I would say it's sort of the classic move when you're being contained like this by, say, Russian or Aztec or anybody like that, where you send a few cavalry out onto the map to raid. You force your opponent to pull a lot of the army back. If they're not completely on point with things, they may pull way more than they need to, and that gives you a timing to actually push the blockhouses and break them, or in this case, the warheads and break them. And that's sort of exactly what Optimus did, and it worked out extremely well for him.
Yeah, well played from him. Just pretty good army movement and thinking on the fly. And not much more needs to be said about that one. Just Kaister never really remassed after that sort of initial fight, or that last fight by the 2 blockhouses.
Yeah, both players are now restarting their game again, but they should hopefully be back soon. Or actually, no, it's just because I'm on a new account and I haven't added them to friends, so they could be online.
Yeah, they somehow managed to connect to each other right away this time, so that's nice.
Right. So let me join the game. And I think Kaister is going Sue here.
Looks like it. It's kind of his main civ, I think. So.
Right. We'll have to see what Optimus goes for. He's used up Japan, but the civs did reset, so Japan is the only civ that he can't play here. He may go for another Russia. He won that matchup earlier in the series, but I think Fraser River may have been better for what he was going for with Russia. Here, the map is a lot more open. I would say it's it doesn't necessarily invalidate the strategy that we saw out of him, but I think the later the game goes, the more Russia favored Fraser River goes. Whereas here, I wouldn't say that's quite as true. So we'll see if he goes for Russia again or if he goes for something else. Kaister looks like he's remarking in chat. Yeah, we're both players really about the colonial militia. I think that's why Kaister lost a lot of units in that game.
Yeah, he just never really discerned that it had been shipped. Optimus Prime selecting France now against Kaister Sioux. This is the last map on ESOC Manchuria. versus Kaister and Optimus Prime. So in the north of the pardon me. In the northeast of the map, in the color blue, is Optimus Prime playing France, and in the southwest, in the color green, is Kaister. Optimus Prime currently leads the series 3-1, and it looks like our crate start is just going to be food today. So,
doing a map check. Looks like there's a hunt here for Kaister that looks like it's. I'm trying to actually count the hunts because they didn't spawn symmetrically, but it may have spawned fairly. So I'm trying to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3.
yeah, I think it spawned fair.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think both players have 3 hunts within approximate average distance of their TC, in addition to their starting hunt. So,
yeah, I think it might be a little Kaister favored in the hunts, but just slightly. I think like the 5th and 6th hunt are a little closer for him. But yeah, it's just an asymmetric but fair spawn otherwise. So early stuff going down. Kaister's actually going to be picking up this native scout. That is to say, killing the French native scout with his Sioux Explorer. Nice early pickup for him. Optimus Prime, meanwhile, taking this 85 wood treasure, but this is classic Sioux coming in. He's going to be spotting this and maybe stealing the treasure.
Yeah, maybe. This is just, as you said, classic Sioux, finds the native scout, kills it immediately, and I think he even gets the wood. He does. He gets the 85 wood. Because here's the thing. So people who don't know, for some reason, I think that the Sioux Explorer actually has like a faster turn radius than other explorers. And so when it comes to treasure contentions, your explorer is, I think, rotating a fair amount of degrees every time, no matter what. And so Sioux generally gets the jump in treasure contentions. So
Sioux is probably the most frustrating civ to play against in Age 1. I mean, at all points of the game, but especially in Age 1, because no matter how good your scouting pattern is, no matter what treasure you're taking, Sioux can probably also contest you on it. And for whatever reason, they always do. So Kaister picking up basically, he got 85 wood treasure stolen, and then he got another 90 wood. So basically gets a free trading post in Age 1. And he's taking... He's taking Optimus's trading post.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yes.
And Optimus recognizes this, just says, LOL, best Sioux map, and definitely a very good Age 1 for Kaister so far. And this is why I literally don't play against Sioux unless I mirror. I only play Sioux against Sioux now, because throughout the years I just got so fed up with the War Chief in Age 1, with the Bow Riders in Age 2, that I just said, no thank you. I want all of the same lame stuff as you have as well. So that's an option for any players out there who don't really like to play against Sioux either.
They could be a tough civ to play against because they play, I would say, a very different style than almost any other civ in the game. They can win a lot of the straight up fights with good timing, like sending the sending the dog soldier big button, or dancing. There's a lot of fights that you'd expect them to not win that they end up just crushing you in. But even when they don't have the bigger army, when they're behind an army size, they don't necessarily have to take the fight. They can always choose when they want the engagement and run you around, killing all your villagers. Even if you've made a lot of walls, they just run in, siege everything down with siege stance, and then run out before you can respond. So very frustrating civ to play against, especially for new players. But Optimus is, he's not a new player. He's a brigadier. So I think he's still got good chances here.
I think so too, and he considers his good chance to be getting on water. If we look at his deck, he's actually got Eco Theory, Rendering Plant, and as well 2 Caravels, 1 Frigate, and even Improved Warships. So if Kaister looks at this deck, I think he should be able to recognize what Optimus Prime is probably doing. And I think he's just responding in kind and just taking all the trading posts and is going to get Stagecoach as soon as he can.
Yeah. Optimus, meanwhile, kind of entertaining that he's going for the crack shot, double crack shot on this treasure. I think he knows that if he went for sort of normal creeping on the treasure, the Super Explorer would take it instead. So he's just going to go for a double crack shot. Picks up the treasure, but interestingly, not laying down a trading post of his own. I think he wanted one, but he hasn't really found an opportunity to. And I think Kaister is going to be able to take all 3 trading posts on this map.
He's even going to steal a yak. It's just so annoying for Optimus. But I don't know if he scouted the dock or not. I think
Yeah, he's on
his
the dock
tires,
here.
or his line.
But did he scout these docks that are placed on Kaister's side of the map?
Yeah, good question. I don't think he has. So this is going to be a heavy French water boom. This is not just sort of 1 dock supplementary economy. He's shipping 700 wood first 3 dock French water play. I love to see it though. And Kaiser, I think, is just going naked FF with Stagecoach. Doesn't have a military building down yet. And now has all 3 trading posts. Here comes the stable.
Yeah, but it is stable after aftermarket. It's unlikely to say he's planning to send any or make any units until age 3. 5 villagers as his first card. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a follow-up of 700 wood or 700 gold. I think he might age up before 700 gold comes in, so I think he might just go for the 700 wood or save it. Also picking up a nice treasure, actually. This cavalry siege damage by 10%. Stu are big fans of cavalry, so this will actually make a difference over the course of the game.
Yeah, he's going to like that, and why not? Fortunately for Optimus Prime... Oh, as I say that, I was going to say, fortunately for Optimus Prime, it's not the stable treasure,
Yeah.
but there is a stable treasure there, and a war hut. So I think that, actually, if Kaister if he did train any units in H2, which he doesn't have any in Q, but if he did, that would be a really good thing to pick up. And he's even laying down a war hut. Interesting.
Yeah, forward war hut going down. Actually, I think that the French explorer is going to spot it. Maybe, maybe not. He was on a path towards it, but doesn't look to be going for it anymore. There's just actually a fight between the 2 explorers here. Mongol riders coming in, but yeah, this fight does favor the Sioux overall.
Yeah, there's just too many things to crack shot here for the French player, but he should definitely try to get one off here. There it goes. Picks off a Mongol rider, but will fall down in agony. Very sad to see. And doesn't scout the war hut. So Kaister is at a naked FF behind this, was even eating some yaks just to age up a little faster, and then I think he's placed this forward war hut just so that when he starts shipping these very valuable unit shipments, the walking time is greatly decreased and he can apply some much faster pressure to Optimus, who hasn't even clicked up yet. He's got a very strong economy, 44 equivalent villagers, but is still in H2.
Yeah, Kaister now taking this this treasure with the war hut and stable. I'd expect him to go for a double war hut here. I think this economy may not be good enough right now to support the 2 stables. Then again, he may go for it. We'll see. But yeah, neither player has actually made a military unit yet this game. We may see one of those NR10 games that are so famous. Yeah, another war hut going down for Kaister. But he is in age 3, and Optimus is clicking up, so players are probably both going to be making some units pretty soon.
Yeah, Optimus needs a military building. I mean, he doesn't even have that. He doesn't have the wood. He's got a ton of villagers trying to frantically collect wood, but needs to lay down like a stable somewhere or a barracks. I just don't know how he's going to hold this, to be honest. Here comes the first 5 Joaquinas. Thankfully, the Cordobois are very tanky, and they have both Greatcoat and Blunderbuss researched on them, so they will be able to aid in the defense here. But it's going to be scary. I don't know.
Yeah, 5 rifle riders out for Kaister first card. Nothing in his deck that can actually contest the water, so I think that this water play from Optimus is going to pretty much go by without any punishment. And so even if Optimus is getting idled in his town center, he'll at least still have a pretty robust economy outside of it. Joaquin are poking in, not going to find anything yet. Optimus may try to garrison, but I think even then, his courier de bar is so tanky that he can react extremely slowly like this and still actually not. Well, okay, he does lose 1, but still only 1 there.
It took 2.5 volleys from these 12 Joaquinas or so just to get it done. Finally, stable comes
that comes up in the back of his base, and a second stable being trained now as well. He's almost got to go for Cuirassiers here. There's just so many Joaquinas. I mean, he's going to lose a lot of CDB here too as well. He's got the maximum number of villagers trying to build this stable. And Minutemen coming out to try to distract some of the fire from the CDB. But, and he... 4 Hus! He aged slow! Of course. I think this is gonna be enough for him to maybe survive. He's got tons of resources stacked behind this.
Yeah, we do see Cuirassier in queue right now. Courier is coming out. I think Kaister, I mean, he wins this fight, but he probably could have won that a lot harder. He probably could have gotten a lot of couriers down. There were not that many rifle riders to protect, and you know, the Hussar did a good amount of damage. So Kaister's going to be backing out, kills the Minutemen, but even so, not that much economic damage, which I think is what he really wanted to do.
Yeah,
and he's going to have to be careful about the square switch.
Yeah, right now the most important thing for Optimus is to get some houses down, which looks like he does finally get one down. So he will be able to kind of complete his Cuirassier dash. Very important. Because he only lost 3 CDB in that fight, and that's definitely worth it if you consider the efficient economy behind all of this.
Yeah, more Wakina coming out for Kaister. He also shipped 3 dog soldiers, but we see 7 Cuirassier in queue right now. 5 popping out, and 5 goons.
Why ship goons instead of Cures? Yeah. Cures would have been great there. I mean, these rifle riders do well versus the Cuirassiers, but they don't do all that well, and this is going to be a lot of DPS. However, cap combat is not on these guys yet. The Zoo player is dancing with attack dance, but only has 4 villagers on that fire pit back home. And the CDBs tanking and adding DPS is, could be a decent fight for Optimus, but as I say that, it looks like all of his units are getting cleaned up, just doesn't have enough all at one time. But you're going to keep trying to hold. I don't know. It's
somewhat mixed results out of that fight, I think, for both players. I mean, a good number of CDB went down. It's 8 total have gone down, which is a substantial number, but even so, Optimus has the better economy. I agree. I expected them to maybe ship 3 Curs instead of shipping the 5 Dragoons, because the Dragoons just didn't really do that much in the fight. There are only 3 dog soldiers, and 2 of them are still alive. But still, the Wakina mass was weakened substantially. Here's the 3 Queers, maybe a little bit late now.
Yeah. You know, I'm just curious why Kaister is continuing to train rifle riders. I think it's generally accepted that they're a very expensive unit to train. They're better to ship if you need them. And they aren't as good as anti-cavalry units as, you know, say, bow riders. So I think this is going to be go time. Optimus Prime is a crap load of Cuirassiers here. And right when the 2 kettle support is being shipped by the Sioux player, so even more Joaquin is not the unit he needs. And it looks like we're going to try to see a right click.
Yeah, this is going to be really close. I think if the Curs can get into a good position, Kaister is doing a good job kiting and pulling back and not trying to take too much splash damage. He's also got a lot of units protecting against these Cuirassiers, but I think there may still just be barely enough. At least the Wakina mass is taking a lot more damage. More rocket riders coming in from the back to support, but even so, Couriers and Cuirassier on the Wakina doing a lot of damage. Even though this fight probably is going to stabilize for Kaister, he lost a lot of units there. But then again, there's a lot of Couriers that are just not really in any position right now.
Look at how low HP all the Joaquinas are. I would say majority of them are under a quarter HP, which isn't a small thing. But that whole time, I think that was kind of Optimus's push that he was banking on, because, you know, that's a lot of time to not be gathering with your villagers. And as a result, his reinforcements are not all that much. He gets 5 Cuirassiers out of 1 stable and ships 8 skirms. But, you know, he just hasn't really broken through. And with 5 Axe Riders for Kaister, I think he's going to win this next fight pretty handily. But
Axe Riders was a good shipment. I think if they were veteran, that would have been just a cleanup for Kaister, but Kaister decides to pull back, waiting a bit. The carriers were in position to sort of take another fight, but because that fight didn't happen, now they're just getting pushed off by Joaquina. Coming back, I think if Kaister, Kaister can actually just see these carriers, so he can move in and try to push.
Kaister is 800 wood stacked. Oh, Hocus Pocus, thanks for subbing to ESOC. As I was saying,
somehow I got that notification too. I was really confused.
See, I don't understand how it works, but anyways, thanks for your sub. But as I was saying, Kaiser's got 800 wood stacked. I think he left his TPs on wood for too long while he was microing. And okay, I was just gonna say I'd really like to see some TPs if he's got all that wood bank, because here comes what might be the final French push. I don't know if he can keep affording to pull his villagers like this.
Yeah, there's just not that many career FCA in this, and there are enough rifle riders in the back, but I think this fight just goes really well for Kaiser. Now it's Joaquina against things that don't kill Joaquina, and Optimus, he's not gathering right now. The economy is actually favoring Kaister, not only because these carriers are dying, but because they were trading posts the entire time. Optimus calls GG. Kaister loses the series, but loses it only 2-3. So pretty strong performance out of him, I would say, despite the loss.
Yeah, because Optimus has had some really nice games so far this EPL, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he even won 3-2 over Nush. So
yeah, Optimus has been.
Go ahead.
I mean, he's known for the inconsistency, and I would say we sort of saw that this time around. I mean, he lost 4-1 to King Vosmain, but then comes back and takes out Nush 3-2. So yeah, it's very interesting every time to see his games. I think this series was very much like that too.